Welcome to the Wyndham.
Hi, my name is Karen Yap. I'm the Executive Director of the Georgia Real Estate Investor Association. Tonight's the second Monday of the month, which means it's our general meeting at the Wyndham, and we look forward to a great event and invite everybody to come out, join us on the second Monday of the month.
Hi, my name is Rick Gerges. I'm the Principal of Equitable Consulting. Welcome to what makes a great buy and hold at the Georgia Real Estate Investors Association.
Hi, I'm Laura Baker, President of GREIA. Welcome to the April General Meeting.
Hello, my name is Ork, and I want to welcome everybody to Georgia REIA. Tonight, we're talking about buying and holding. So if you're thinking about being an investor in buying and holding, today is the day that you need to come out and enjoy what we have to offer you today at Georgia REIA. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sherry Aldridge with Auction.com.
Hi, I'm Kenya McGill.
And I'm Michael McMillan with Auction.com.
We are here at the Georgia REIA's general meeting, and welcome. Come on down.
Hi, I'm Gary Jenkins. Welcome to Georgia REIA monthly meeting. We're with Jenkins Construction LLC.
I'm Doreen Owens from Gary Jenkins Construction as well, or Jenkins Construction LLC. We invite you to come on down to the Georgia REIA meeting as well.
Good evening, my name is Michael Braswell, President of Braswell Capital Solutions, and I'm proud to be here at Georgia REIA tonight.
Let me start off by welcoming everyone to the Georgia REIA. I'm excited about this session. This is what makes a good buy and hold, and we've got a fantastic panel of very experienced people. This is the second in the three-part series. The last will be Mastering Passive Income. And thank you all for coming, and we hope that this will be an eye-opening and perspective-altering experience for you all. I think it will be. We'll start off with some haves and wants. And Nick Dixon with Keller Williams is here to talk about something.
Okay. We said haves and wants. Oh, there it is. Haves and wants. So I'm a real estate agent, investor friendly. So I've got an investor right now that is looking for something whereabouts of about $1 million that is grossing, so top line revenue of $90,000 a year. If anybody has anything like that, as far as an apartment, it could be commercial, it could be retail, office, but if it's around those numbers, Nick the Realtor, come see me. I'll be hanging out in the back. Let me know. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to jump right into upcoming events. Yeah. You have a success story?
Yeah, we do. Just talk about it. There's some events that you want to announce.
Okay. I'm going to hand it over to Kirk Smith. He's going to discuss some upcoming events. Thank you, Kirk. I'm going to give you this microphone.
Testing. Yeah, so we have our buy and hold boot camp coming up. A year ago, July, I quit my day job on buying rentals. And Brad Pope, can you just stand up for a second? Brad is my mentor that I met 8 years ago when he was buying and fixing rentals in Norcross, and he taught me at that time how to buy rentals in Norcross. And then since then, Georgia REIA and all the other people like Steve Loby, who are masters at buy and hold, taught me what I needed to know. I quit my day job. What do y'all think about quitting your day job, buying rentals? Georgia REIA is here to help you achieve your dreams, whatever it is. If you want to flip, and that's exciting for you, we have flippers groups. If you want to wholesale, we have wholesale coaching to help you with that. Buy and hold, we have, our whole purpose is to help you learn how to be successful. This whole room is full of people who have done deals of one type or another. The May 5th and 6th Buy and Hold Boot Camp, a few of us folks who know something about buy and hold, and we want to share it with you. 2 days of concentrated how to find, how to repair, how to negotiate with the sellers, how to finance, and then how to screen tenants, how to sign leases, the whole shebang all in one weekend. Who wants to buy rentals and be successful? Oh my God. Everyone. Isn't that fantastic? And we have lenders, a few lenders here, who are here to help you buy rentals. Not every lender is particularly good because they're all used to dealing with owner-occupants, and financing a rental to an investor who may have other rentals is a tricky business. Is underwriting landlords a little different than owner-occupants?
Yes, it is.
And Vance, I love Vance, the stand-up Vance. He's a new business associate, but I did 7 refi or purchase loans through Vance and SWBC. He is an excellent lender and can close a rental loan faster than anyone, which counts for a lot. Because if you close a mortgage, it's very painful. And Rick and Vance and the other lenders back there do 30-year loans as well. So we have a lot of lenders. So talk to them all and choose the product that best fits your needs. Passive income class, right? Is that true?
It's true.
Oh my God. Steve Loby is the master at teaching folks how to manage their personal finances and to get more out of what you are currently investing in and managing your rentals. So that's another class that he's going to be, it's not on the calendar yet. And a part of your membership is 17 subgroups per month. There was a calendar piece of paper you picked up. All of those evening meetings come with your membership, or you go online, GREIA.com, and click calendar and check those events out.
Before you move on past member benefits,
There's a women's subgroup that's meeting on the second Wednesday. It's being organized by Jacqueline Swint. Jacqueline, please stand up.
Okay.
This is your
Hi everyone, how are you guys tonight? Good, good. I just like to have a little energy in the room, so if you guys will, if you please stand up. I don't know how to do this, and I'm going to need to do a little movement. So how should I?
stand up.
I'll just okay, never mind. Okay, so just shake off the day, just kind of shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Okay, your coworker that despises you, but you don't care. Just think of you walking in your boss's office. It always cracks me up. At one of my meetings, this lady was just out of control. I mean, she was just going like, everybody, oh, look at her, whatever. But at any rate, thank you guys for coming tonight. But the Women's Empowerment Group meets on the second Wednesday at Georgia REIA's main office. I'm putting together an all-women's real estate group, whether you're a general contractor, painter, heat and air technician, electrician, attorney, what have you. We want to make our group where everyone in our group can do deals with the people in our group. So, not saying that we don't want any testosterone in there. We're not anti-guys. But hey, we just need something for us women. So please join us on the second Wednesday, which is the day after tomorrow, 7 p.m. at Georgia REIA's main office. Again, my name is Jacqueline Swint. See me if you are one of the people that I named, or you would like to, come and let yourself be known to our group, so we can, help put some money in your pocket or a property. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jacqueline. My contractor, my farm area is Rossville, Georgia. That's just south of Chattanooga. I met my general contractor, a woman. Oh my God, she is the best contractor. She can manage those subs like a mother. Honest. There is an incredible place in this world for women in real estate. So we already talked about buy and hold, May 5th and 6th. I brought my wife to the first trainings I did 7 years ago. That was one of the smartest things I did. Because if you have support at home, if they know the technology, the vocabulary and the mathematics. It's a much easier job making hard decisions when you have partner support at home. And Steve, you want to talk about a little bit of passive income?
Thanks, Kurt. My name is Steve Loby. For those of you who don't know me, kind of a geek, kind of a numbers geek. Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, MBA in Finance, Certified Financial Planner training, although I never worked at it. I did that before I walked away from my day job, just to be sure I knew what I was doing. I passed the CFP boards. Most people don't do that before they walk away from their day job. But I've got this little course called Mastering Passive Income, and we focus on real estate and stocks, because I think you should be diversified, and because at some time even buy and holding gets a little bit old and you might want to ring the cash register. And then you got to think about your heirs. Do they really want to inherit a bunch of property? So we talk about building wealth, we talk about exit strategies, we talk about how to manage your properties, how to handle the stock market. I used to do a 4-day version of the course, and we used to talk about pensions, annuities, Social Security, all kinds of stuff, taxes. Now I just kind of work it in as it's applicable to stocks and real estate. And then we have personal one-on-one sessions in addition, where we will get into, depending on your stage of life, those other areas. Does that make sense? So it's an intense it's a full 2-day course. I've only done it once as a 2-day version, and we ran out of time, so we then had 2 evening sessions of 2 hours apiece to fill it up. And now people are going through their individual consults. So that's coming up. I think we got June 23rd and 24th tentatively marked for that. I'd like to see a lot of you show up. How many people here have been through the course? Quite a few, I see. So Keith, Steve Jordan went through it. Steve Jordan had one word when I asked him what he thought of it, and it really humbled me. He said it was overwhelming. This is Steve Jordan said it was overwhelming. If those of you who don't know Steve Jordan, wow, that blew me away. So that's one of the reasons I've also pared it down a little bit and tried to get a little more to the point and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we'd like to see you there. We'd like to see you guys at the Buy and Hold Boot Camp. Tonight we're going to unashamedly promote the Buy and Hold Boot Camp. That's why we have a Buy and Hold panel up here. But we've traditionally done a flipping boot camp. We've done that for years and years and years, and flipping is glamorous. It's what you see on TV. There's no Buy and Hold on TV where we show Kurt walking to the mailbox once a month to get checks. That just doesn't work on TV. So everything you see on TV is flipping. But most of us believe in passive income. Nobody really likes tenants, toilets, and trash if you really corner somebody and ask them. So we're all believers in buy and hold, and we're going to discuss buy and hold tonight and promote the Buy and Hold Boot Camp. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Well, this was 3 weekends ago. Who went through the Fast Start Boot Camp? Yeah, several people. What'd y'all think? It was good, right? I guess we're doing a little post-mortem. We had a bus tour, and we went to a bunch of houses. This happened to be the worst of the lot. It was fantastic looking at these potential flip houses. And no is a great business decision. So we said no a few times. I'm a volunteer here at Georgia REIA. I don't make a nickel. I am here as a give back because Brad spent so much time and Georgia REIA spent so much time helping me get over my educational hump. I'm here to help you. So we run on volunteers in Georgia REIA because we're a nonprofit, the only nonprofit in Georgia. If you have an interest in rubbing shoulders with the leadership folks, you can volunteer. You contact Karen in the office, in the Tilly Mill office. And is Jasmine here? Okay. Alan, we have our success story. Alan was here. There he is. So I'd like to introduce Alan Johnson. Every month we have someone who's done a deal, varying either wholesaling, flipping, or sometimes some other venture in real estate, who wants to share what they did, because we're all wanting to copy guys like Alan and everyone else here who's done deals. So Ellen, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Can everyone hear me? Yes. Good evening. Good evening. As he mentioned, my name is Alan Johnson. From a career perspective, I'm a healthcare administrator responsible for managing behavioral health and primary care operations, but you don't care about that. From a passion perspective, I am very new to real estate investing, and I hope to be as good as that as I am with my day job. As Kurt mentioned, I am about 99% done with my first flip. The closing is actually later this week. I'm really excited about the process and then what's to come and what's in store. So, my journey. I do have a rental property, and it was really easy for me to get my rental property. It was a house I actually lived in for about 10 years. I was ready to buy a new house, looked at my debt and income and so forth, and realized that, wow, I can keep this house and get another one. So I kept it and decided to rent it out. Got a tenant, and the tenant's been in there for about 3 years, hasn't missed a monthly payment. So that's gone really, really well, but I wanted more than that. So as a lot of you have done, I read a lot of books. I listened to podcasts, joined bigger pockets, went to different websites, and I read as much as I could. But at the end of the day, that really wasn't enough for me. So I had book knowledge, but I didn't necessarily understand how to transfer that book knowledge to actual real world experience. So I started to get serious about this and started doing some foundational things to build our business. So when a property did come, then I'll be ready for it. So the approach was, I'm a private guy. So I'm a social guy, but I'm a very private guy when it comes to my business dealings. With that, I decided to, on this journey, the key thing, next point, is I realized that real estate is very relational. So the books and the podcasts really weren't going to get me to where I needed to be, but I needed to get out there and talk to people. So in my journey, I started networking and talking to people, so it was kind of uncomfortable to say, hey, what do you do? And lo and behold, when I made this proclamation, I started meeting people that were contractors or real estate investors and had rental properties. And so I just started talking about their journey, met a lot of experts along the way, and with those experts, they said, hey, we have a $20,000 training course. As a newbie and as someone that wanted to get over that learning hump, I'm like, that sounds good, but the price tag didn't really sound good, so I kind of passed and figured there had to be other options out there. I've been a member of Georgia REIA for a month, so actually today is my 1 month anniversary, and I wish I had joined 3 years ago because I would be much further along in my journey, but nonetheless, that's my story, and I'm here today. So I started talking to people, started meeting wholesalers, and actually ended up meeting a coworker who, lo and behold, was a brand new wholesaler. So she didn't really know what she was doing. I didn't really know what I was doing, but she had a house to sell or to assign to me. And so the one you see here is the house that she assigned. So her husband and myself and I went to the house, looked at it. It was horrible. Like the outside of it doesn't even do it justice. So for my first flip project, I literally jumped all the way in because again, I got to the point of I got to do something. So my goal was to really learn the flipping process, and if I made $1, I consider that to be a huge success. Next slide. So this shows you the inside of it, and again, I had to brighten it on my iPad, but the pictures don't even do it justice. So someone had ripped out all the plumbing, all the HVAC, all the electrical. The walls were horrible. It had hardwood floors, so at least it had it going for it. So, but it was a 3-2 that ended up knocking out a couple of walls. But you all have seen pictures like this before, but what you really care about are the numbers. So the purchase price was $41. It's in the Mosley Park area. This is before I really understood like market trends in hot areas, but I knew that, hey, there are dump trucks all over this, there are dumpsters all around the neighborhood, so I figured, well, somebody's invested in there. So purchase price was $41. The financing expense, so I went hard money, which before I started doing this, hard money was terrible. Like, I had good credit. Like, why am I going hard money? Well, they were going to finance the purchase price and the rehab, and I didn't necessarily have to come out of my pocket. So, hey, that makes sense. So the wholesaling fee for my co-op was $2,000. The rehab budget was $59,000. So this is where education is critical, because I thought I jacked this up here. So I went through 3 contractors, only to find out at last month's meeting, I think Kurt and Darlene said, if you go through a couple of contractors and you have to redo your original budget, and it takes you 7 months from end to end, that's pretty typical. It's like, well, that's actually my story. Went through 3 contractors, and when we closed by the end of this week, it would be end to end about 7 months. So the original ARV that I was planning for, because I didn't know what I was doing, was around 130. So I would have been all in for 126,000. Had about 4,000 closing holding costs over the 7 months. And then because my original contractor who did my floors in my house severely underestimated what the work was going to be for a flipping project, I had to put in an additional 10,000 in cash. So all in 126. As it turns out, and Kirk really helped me with this, so I was lucky and blessed on my first one because based on the timing of when I'm selling it, so this is the hot season. So what I really thought was 130 is now 160. I'll put it on the market for 165. We agreed on 160. And so by the time you take out all the holding costs and all in stuff, I'll get a $24,000 profit. It sure beats that dollar that I was originally planning for. And then I'll show you some last pictures of the finished project. So you saw before it was like a big bush and it was boarded windows, and so obviously we replaced the roof, we repainted everything, we totally gutted the inside of it, replaced it, and so you see the family room here to the top right. Who likes the furniture? Okay, that's fake furniture. So my real estate agent said, hey, let's stage your house. So again, first time investor, I'm nervous, like, no, I'll put too much cash in this already. I don't want to stage it. Let's just hope that the market is hot. And she said, no, we can e-stage your property. So I'm like, well, what's that? She was like, well, don't worry about it. We'll take pictures. And so she and her team went in, and so that's actually fake furniture. So she actually electronically placed the fixtures and stuff. So when people look at my property online, they see this, and then when they get to the property, it's actually empty. But we're hoping that the images burn into their mind, so they still see this when they're walking around an empty property. And it worked because we had about 3 offers in about 2 weeks of it being on the market, and we accepted the 3rd offer. Well, actually, we accepted the 1st offer. So I'm like, first good offer, I'm jumping on it. But they pulled out during the due diligence period, and so we actually accepted the 3rd offer. And then you see the basement downstairs, we refinished that. So there's actually 2 bedrooms downstairs, a full bath, and then 2 bedrooms upstairs, and another full bath. And then we expanded the kitchen. So we knocked out a total of 3 walls in this project. So, my story.
That's just incredible. Benefits. I'm the volunteer benefits. My title's changed. I think benefits guy. We'll see. So as a Georgia REIA member, you get 2% discount on your Home Depot purchases and 2% rebate on your Home Depot purchases and a 20% fair payment discount at the cash register. Plus Office Depot, around 20% off on your paper and printer ink. Who likes buying printer ink at full list price? No, no one. Oh, with Georgia REIA membership, you get 20% off. So if you're not getting 20% off on that hated printer ink purchase, contact me. I will get you set up with these benefits. So who would like to have those benefits set up for you? So you just raise your hand. I will give you my business card. Your job tomorrow is to email me, because then I will send you the instructions on how to get set up. So all these benefits are come with your Georgia REIA membership. So knowing that, who's not a member, who wants to be a member now? Okay, there you go. Google Groups. I'm in charge of Google Groups too. So if you're not in the Deal Makers and the New Investors Google Group, every new person I put into the New Investors Google Group. If you're a member and you're not getting new investor Google messages, raise your hand. Because I need to get you set up. So it's another reason why you have to contact me if you're a member and you're not getting these messages. The Google Groups, the Deal Makers Google Group has a lot of conversation, but if you need a plumber, you can get a plumber referral in half an hour, okay, sometimes a whole hour. Who would like to be rehabbing a house and get a referral for a contractor from someone who's just using that contractor? Right. You all want to just go to Angie's List and get a retail contractor? No. So that's one of the things us full-timers do to help everyone, is that we have a way to communicate, which is unique. None of the other RIAs have this same benefit. And I'm stealing your thunder, man.
I want you to steal it.
Oh, man. So after the meeting, we have a meeting after the meeting at a place that serves drinks and food, just a couple miles away. So if you just punch into your smartphone, Rose and Crown, and it's just a couple turns and zigs and zags, and it's nearby. We meet over there after the meeting. If you bring a friend into Georgia RIA and they join, we give you a month off your membership, or extends your membership another month. And I brought my wife in, she's a member, so it's just a great thing to have your friends as members. Haves and wants. Who has something you want to sell? Any wholesalers here with deals you want to advertise? You come on up. Okay, we have a wholesaler who has a deal. We'll see what he has. Anyone else besides this one person? How would you want to buy something? So you can come up and announce if you want to buy as well.
This particular property is for sale. It's totally renovated. It's in Macon. It's less than a mile away from Mercer University. That area is really growing. That area is really hot. Mercer is expanding their medical school, also the engineering school, and their law school. We're selling it for $69,000. You don't have to do any work. It's totally renovated. So if you're interested, if you need one of my cars, raise your hand. My phone number is 770-601-5654. That's 770-601-5654. And my name is Gary Jenkins.
Gary, how many bedrooms and baths does it have?
It has 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, a living room, a dining room, and a kitchen, and 4 fireplaces. Beautiful home. Yes.
And Gary, you're a general contractor?
I am, and matter of fact, I did the renovation. Yes. But
You take work?
yes, but the house is in excellent condition. Hardwood floors, ceramic tile. We added a new large master bath, and everything is just nice. The four fireplaces, you can't beat it. Large ceilings. The whole house is just a nice house. It was built in the 1900s, when Mercer was really starting. So when Mercer's expanding, if you drive through there, you can see it. Everything is just moving in that direction. So it is an excellent time to purchase this property. 69. That's a deal.
It is a deal.
Yeah. Well, I think the rents down there is probably $850.
3-bedroom.
Yeah, $850.
Maybe 900. You know,
But
just renovated.
yeah, but it's everything is renovated. It's an excellent property. Has a screen-in porch. You
Wish I
can't.
had a picture, Gary. You got everybody salivating.
Well, Michael, I do have pictures, but they are pictures of the starting part of it and almost the end part of it. So, yeah, and I don't have them with me. So, yeah.
I appreciate it.
But it's a great idea. Thank you very much.
I want to see the house.
But anyway, if you're interested in the property, give me a call, please. 770-601-5654. And that's Gary Jenkins. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Anyone else with haves or wants? Business associates. Michael Braswell, our business associates director.
Thank you, Kurt. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today? All right, awesome. My name is Michael Braswell. I am the BA director. I manage all the BAs there in the back. So if you're interested in becoming a BA, please see me. We're looking for anybody that works in the real estate business. Whatever you do, if you're a tradesman, if you're contracting, if you're, whatever you do in real estate, it just has to be real estate related. Please see me. We'd love to have you. As you can see, the main meetings are well attended. We have 17 different subgroups, and so there's a lot of opportunity for you to make money here as a BA with Georgia REIA. And at this time, I'd like to recognize all of the BAs. If you would, please come to the front. BAs are going to give a 1 to 2 minute shameless plug about their business. So please come to the front. Since I'm the director, I'll go ahead and start. I am the owner of Braswell Capital Solutions. We provide funding for your real estate projects, fix and flip, buy and hold commercial real estate. And a few weeks ago, we just started offering a new product, unsecured loans, where we can provide 100% financing for your projects. So wherever you are in the investing spectrum, if you're a new investor, if you're experienced, we have the products and services to be able to help you. And my phone number is 770-854-2194. You can also go to BraswellCapitalSolutions.com and check us out. We love to talk to you and do business. On tomorrow, we have a monthly networking group called Catalyst. We're going to have somebody come out and talk about how to bid and win excess properties from the Georgia Department of Transportation. I think a lot of you, I was surprised, I didn't even know you can buy properties from the Georgia Department of Transportation. So we have somebody coming out tomorrow from 11:30 to 1:30 at the Chewy's Tex-Mex over by Perimeter Mall tomorrow. So come on out, you can stop by and see us in the back if you'd like to register for that event. And that's going to be a new Georgia REIA subgroup. I'm working on getting that approved, and that's the second Tuesday of every month. With that, thank you.
Hello, my name is Rachel. I'm here representing Atlanta Housing Authority, and what we do is provide housing to Atlanta's low-income families, working families, disabled, veterans, senior families, and those at risk for homelessness. And I'm here today because there is an extreme shortage of affordable housing available to our participating families. Some of the benefits of doing business with us is, of course, that you get consistent rental income. So that income is actually direct deposited into your account by the 5th of the month, every month. In addition, if you have single-family homes, townhomes, individually owned condos, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, you can get up to $500 just for signing a contract with us. You get $250 to sign the contract and an additional $250 if you pass an inspection on the first time. We do business within the city limits of Atlanta, and we recently launched a property protection program. That program is just free to all property owners who decide to do business with us. And the way it works is that if you incur excessive tenant-related damage to your property that's above normal wear and tear, we would pay up to $2,000 to property owners to pay to repair their units. So there are a lot of great reasons to decide to do business with us on top of our great families, and we would really like for you to provide housing. We have over 300 families searching right now, so if you have available rental property, we do have tenants to fill those properties of all sizes, all bedroom size counts, including multifamily properties as well, which the main shortage is also for 1 and 2 bedroom units. So look forward to doing business with you. Just raise your hand. I have my business card if you'd like additional information.
Hi, my name is Scott Dow. I'm with Advanta IRA. We are a self-directed IRA administrator. So anyone out there who has any type of IRA, a regular, traditional, a Roth IRA, a SEP, or a simple, or if you have an old 401k, an old 403b plan through your employer, instead of investing that money into the stock market or in mutual funds, you can actually place that money into all types of real estate. So I'm sure everyone in this room either buys rental properties, they buy rehabs, you maybe like to do private lending as your investment strategy. All of that can be done with your retirement account. And that's what we do at Advanta IRA. Most IRA or most retirement plan custodians limit you to those products that they sell. You can buy an annuity, you can buy stocks, you can buy a CD at a bank, but they don't allow you to invest in real estate because that doesn't fit their business model. That's exactly what we do. We do all the administration, all the record keeping associated with those properties you hold in your IRA, and you keep your money tax protected. So when you move the money from a Fidelity or Schwab to Advanta, no tax consequence, and all the benefits of the rental income or the rehab profits all go back into your IRA tax deferred or tax free. We do a lot of free education. Our office is in Buckhead. We do usually once every 2 or 3 weeks we have a lunch seminar in our office. We just had Chantel Owens do a tax lien tax lien seminar last Friday. We had almost 50 people there. So it's a great networking opportunity, and also a great educational opportunity. I have cards as well, so if anyone would like one, I'll pass one out as they go along.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dorian Owens. I am an administrator of the company. The name of our company is Jenkins Construction LLC. We have over 30 years of construction experience in the area in Atlanta, and as well as Macon. You also heard from the owner of the company, Mr. Gary Jenkins, just a few moments ago. We do total construction. So that is, I'm just going to read off of our card here: masonry, carpet, cabinetry, roofing, bathrooms, room additions, concrete, gutters and downspouts, vinyl, hardwood floors, kitchen, ceramic tile, painting, electrical, decks, sunrooms, heating and air, basements, and plumbing. So as you can see, we do a whole lot of construction, as you see. So if you have any questions or anything, or actually by a show of hands, I can give you a card. Be sure to give us a call or send us an email, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Cheryl Nydam and I am with National Tenant Network Georgia. If you are a buy and hold landlord and you have applicants for your rental properties, we are the way that you can check them out. We offer resident screening reports instantly online, but where we really set ourselves apart is with our full service reports. And that's where you send us the application and we provide you back everything you need to make a decision, all in one place. No work on your part, and your applicant pays for it directly if you desire that. So there's really no downside to you getting the information. The most important part, of course, is to get that information before you sign the lease, because once you sign the lease, it's too late. So if we can help you with anything, we've been in Marietta over 20 years, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Hello. I am Nick the Realtor with Keller Williams Cityside in Smyrna. I go any direction from Smyrna, 45 minutes to an hour. I work on both sides, so if you are a wholesaler and you've got a property that you're looking to get rid of, I've got a list in my phone of a whole bunch of investors that are looking to purchase properties, so always looking for those. And then on top of that, if you're looking for properties, I keep in contact with a lot of different people who are specifically looking for deals. I have an investor, for example, that I'm working with. It was interesting because it's hard for me to find an investor who exclusively works with me, because most investors have multiple agents, and I understand that. So I had an investor came up to me and he was like, look, he says, another guy sent me this deal. He said, but I want to work with you because I trust your comps. Like, I feel like you know what you're doing with these comps. He says he was sending me comps from all over the place. So I pride myself in, making sure that investors aren't getting into properties that don't make sense for what their return on investment they want as far as their ARV. So I'm Nick the Realtor. I'm running low on cards, but I have a whole bunch in my car, so I'm gonna get some more out, and then I'll be back there. So if you wanna get some, come get some.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Sherry Aldridge. I'm with Auction.com. We are the largest real estate and ballroom marketplace. We have about a little over 34,000 properties available online right now. This past Super Tuesday, we were at all counties in Georgia. We sold $29.7 million in properties. That was over 240 properties. We brought to sell 379 of those, and 240 of those sold. Kenya here is going to invite you to our Lunch and Learn that we hold on the first Tuesday of the month. Michael is holding a fishbowl for a giveaway. So if you have a business card, drop it in there. We're going to be giving away some lovely auction.com umbrellas. So please go ahead and drop it in there. We don't want to leave with those umbrellas, so please take them off our hands.
I'm Kenya McGill. I personally want to invite you guys out to our lunch and learn. Tonight we don't have anything for sale. We just have information that we want to give you guys. Our whole purpose is to make sure that we give you the tools and the steps that you need to bid comfortably and confidently on the courthouse steps, or whether you're bidding online. I would like to invite you guys to our lunch and learn, which takes place on May the 1st, which is the first Tuesday of next month. It'll be going on simultaneously as the auction is going on as well. So I would recommend making it a day of learning and going to an auction in Gwinnett County or Fulton County that morning at about 10 a.m., staying for about an hour to get a bird's eye view of how the auction works, making your way to the lunch and learn in Gwinnett County or Fulton County at 11:30 to get an explanation of what you just saw. Now, I invite you guys to come to the lunch and learn as well, to come to the back table to get more information about the lunch and learn and more information about auction.com. Definitely don't forget to insert your business card into the bucket so that we can enter you into the raffle.
I bought around 12 deals off auction.com, off their online side of the house. So auction.com does do a great service. I've got 12 houses that are now cash flowing. And so, start our meeting.
So it's my pleasure to introduce Steve Loby, Kurt Smith, and Steve Jordan. We're going to have a thorough discussion, but it's going to come a little loose, and we're going to do it with some audience participation. First thing I'd love to hear is I'd like everyone to stand up and individually, not right at once, I'm sorry. Individually, and tell us about your experience in about 5 minutes buying and holding property. Yes, please. Steve Loby.
It's working? Doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, Steve Loby again. So I first bought rental property in 1979. My wife, unlike Kurt, who has a wife that supports him, my wife has nothing to do with the rental property. It still can be done. I bought a brand new twinplex, as they used to call them in Ohio. The fact that it was brand new convinced her we wouldn't get any midnight phone calls, etc., etc. I learned from my tenants, who after I put them in there said, "Why are you charging so little rent?" that it was on the bus line to Kent State University. I had no clue Kent State University was anywhere near this property because I lived 30 miles away in Akron, Ohio. And sure enough, the next day I was down there at the university talking to their off-campus housing office, touring the dormitories, and sure enough, I was under renting in terms of student rentals. So I thought, boy, this is a pretty good deal. So then I went and sought student rental properties and bought student rental properties. I bought them at Akron U, and then I moved down here and I bought them at Clemson University. And to make a long story short, I ended up focusing on condos because I had a day job. I didn't need the cash. I put the cash flow from the rentals on the loans. I knew, my financial calculator told me they would be free and clear in 72 months. They were free and clear in 72 months. What surprised me then was I sold them in 2003, 4, 5. I sold like 45 properties. I still have 5 condos in Alpharetta. I also had 17 condos in Alpharetta, which are not students. I still have 5 of those. And I have 2 oceanfront houses, and I am totally out of, as of last year, I sold my last 2 student rentals. It was actually a sad time in my life, but I moved on. And so I have experience with property managers. Because I had remote locations, I use property managers. I'm particularly knowledgeable on condos and students, but again, the stuff in Alpharetta, I self-manage, and so I have some experience with self-managing and that kind of thing too. Okay?
What was the negative cash flow during the period of time you were reinvesting the rental payments on the condos to pay them off in 7 years?
Question is, what was the negative cash flow? When I was, there was no negative cash flow.
So you took IRA money and you paid them off?
No, nothing to do with an IRA. So I would buy a condo. At the time I was able to get 10% down financing. I was dealing with the commercial side of the bank, so I could only get a 15-year loan. And Mathematically, what I did was take the whole entire net operating income, which normally does two things. It normally pays your mortgage, and then it provides cash flow. I didn't need the cash flow. I took the whole entire net operating income and put it on the loan. You put those numbers into a financial calculator, it tells you when it's free and clear. It's a very, very simple strategy.
What was roughly the value of all
Can
those?
Rick use the mic with his question?
I'm going to repeat his question. Go ahead.
What was
You want to know what the negative cash flow was? There wasn't negative cash flow.
What was roughly the value of those condos when you acquired them and when you sold them?
I'm going to go away with my 5 minutes here. Okay.
Okay.
Question is, what was the value of the condos when I acquired them? What was the value of the condos when I sold them? I acquired, for a very short time period, from 1995 to 1997, I acquired in 2 complexes in Clemson. One was known as Party Central. It was called Clemson Court 2. It was a 19-unit U-shaped building overlooking a swimming pool. So my flyers used to say, my unit overlooks the swimming pool. Of course, they all did. But, and then the other complex was a complex called Cedarwood, which I ended up with 30 some odd in there. And in Cedarwood, I would typically pay, I kept track of the first 17, I averaged $24,000. I ultimately paid as high as $32,000. I sold all those between $50,000 and $62,000. I sold the other ones that I paid $60,000 for 2 and $70,000 for 3s. I sold them for, I think it was $120,000 for the 2s and $130,000 for the 3s. Condos in Alpharetta, the first ones I bought were REO, real estate owned. They were foreclosed on a bank. And when I bought it, the bank went out of business. I don't know how many of you remember Resolution Trust Corp that had to take over the banks. So in the middle of buying them, I had to buy them from Resolution Trust Corp. I paid $45,000 a piece for the first 8. I ultimately paid as high as $70,000. I flipped the ones I bought really cheap for $100,000, $105,000, mostly to tenants with no real estate commission. I flipped most of the other ones for a little more than that. I still own 4.5. I own one in partners with a friend of mine, and they're currently worth, those I paid $74,000, $75,000, and those are currently worth about $175,000. So I did get appreciation, I did get cash flow, but I built most of my strategy I built on loan amortization, which most people ignore. There's 3 ways to make money in real estate: cash flow, loan amortization, and appreciation. Mostly everybody ignores the appreciation, the loan amortization. And that is the only thing you can calculate to the penny and is going to happen. And by the way, it's tax-free when you sell it. And so I built my whole strategy around loan amortization. It turned out I got appreciation as well, but okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Come back to you.
Well, I'm Kurt Smith again. As I mentioned, Brad Pope is my guy who I met online and got me started 7, maybe 8 years ago buying rentals in Norcross. My wife is now a retired school teacher. So our first business model was buying the cheapest rental in the best school district. So the Norcross High School District then was an 8 out of 10. I think it's since dropped to about 7, but still it's a really, really good high school. Buying rentals in a good high school, especially if you find the cheapest area in a good high school, those will be easy rentals to manage because you screen for tenants that have 2 incomes and they say, I've got to keep my kids in the same football or the same cluster, which is a term I don't, so that's the grade school, middle school that goes into the high school. So they will stay while their kids all grow up. And so I've got tenants that the original tenants that I put in those houses because their kids haven't yet grown up through the high school system. So we started buying houses outside the Atlanta area as competition heated up. So I got to be good at remote rehabbing and remote managing. I manage all of our own rentals. And our rentals are between 2 hours away, one is 3 hours away, but generally between, for the Norcross houses, half an hour. But they're 1 hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, and one's 3 hours away. So I taught myself how to remote rehab, remote manage those tenants. and also collect rent. So when you have rentals all over creation, getting those folks to pay is also a challenge. So I've been doing this for about 7 years, and I really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to talking about these things on a panel.
Hi everyone, my name is Steve Jordan. I started a long time ago, back around 1975. I bought my first investment property here in Atlanta, actually in Roswell. Back in those days, there was no such thing as Georgia REIA or any other REIA. I just moved here from Seattle, Washington, and while in Seattle, I had bought a book. Author of the book was a fellow by the name of William J. Nickerson. Some of you may have read his book, How I Turned $1,000 into $1 Million for Real Estate. After I read that 175-page book, I thought I knew all there was to know about buying, holding, and renting property. And so about a year after I moved to Atlanta, I bought a 16-unit apartment house in Roswell. And that was like drinking from a fire hose. I didn't know anything. I didn't even have a lease to sign up new tenants. I didn't know how to evict anybody. I didn't know from nothing. Fortunately, I had made some contact with some knowledgeable people, and I was always able to make a phone call and find out, what do I do now, coach? But anyway, I continued investing in real estate. I started buying single-family houses because after a couple of years of owning an apartment building, I realized that apartment tenants were not the kind of people I wanted to manage. They were trying to manage me, and I didn't like that. And then in 1991, I retired from a corporate job and started flipping houses. Over the next 10 years, I bought about 100 houses. 75 of them I gutted, rehabbed, and then resold to a retail buyer. The 25 that I didn't do that with were houses that when I looked at the numbers, I said to myself, there's no sense in flipping this house. It's a house that ought to go in my rental portfolio. And so that's exactly what happened. And my rental portfolio grew to about 35 units. I've always managed all of these things by myself. My wife was involved in only one part of this soiree, and that was when I was flipping houses. I'm very fortunate. My wife has a master's in architecture from Georgia Tech, and she owned her own interior decorating business for 5 years. And so every time I bought one of these houses that we were going to gut, first thing my wife and I did was we went down there and parked ourselves for as many hours as it took to figure out exactly what we were going to do with this house. Color schemes, moving walls, redoing the kitchen, whatever needed to be done, we figured it out. And I think I was ahead of the curve because I actually paid my wife for each and every house that she worked on. And that was before the Me Too movement. Long before the Me Too movement. Along the way, I also got into hard money lending. I did hard money lending for about 15 years until the recession that we had back in 2008, 9, 10, whenever it was. And that was a time to get out because people couldn't sell the houses that they were rehabbing because nobody could get a loan. So that's kind of my background. I'm still active. I still manage. I have about 16, I think, properties left. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
My name is Rick Gargis. I moved to Atlanta in '97, shortly after college. My investment strategy has been different than all these guys. I bought 5 primary residences each time from 2000 to 2013. And each time I moved up in the size of my home, reinvested. I've also bought 7 investment properties, of which 4 of them were quads. And I sold high, bought low to moderate, and benefited from cash flow. I've always had a challenge with managing multiple properties and improving multiple properties, and it's probably because I worked a day job and I was trapped to a computer most of the time, and getting out in traffic was just very challenging for me. I may be a grounding voice in this panel because I've had success, but it hasn't been on the scale, and I probably am not a master of passive income by most people's standards. You know, I thought I was doing well with my 6-figure income, having a house and a debt-to-income ratio under 25%. But Kurt explained to me that I'm just a hamster stuck in a wheel, and I need to expand the way I think to turn even that into another opportunity. And he's absolutely right. And the more I meet and the more I learn from people like this, the more I recognize that there are no rules and everyone has to develop things within their own limitations. Speaking about limitations, I will tell you that, to be honest with yourself, your first and foremost limitation is going to be your construction experience. You know, it's also going to be your management experience, and it's also going to be your income, and it's also going to be your assets, and it's also going to be your credit. So, one thing that the ultra-conservatives that make profound recommendations have the luxury of having is oftentimes a 6-figure income. You know, if you have the luxury of a 6-figure income, you can make fantastic investment recommendations that don't require a lot of income-generating aspects. So a lot of people start off with a lump sum of money, and I'm going to tell you a quick story, then lead into a question for our panel. In the mortgage industry, I've had a lot of customers that are looking for investments. And we have a criteria called debt service coverage ratio. And, you know, sometimes people say it's too mortgage driven, but I think it's the founding fundamental in income generating properties. So in a dumbed down look at it, a debt service coverage ratio means that if someone's collecting $2,000 a month in rent, the PITI payment is $1,000, that's a 2-to-1 debt service coverage ratio. That's one of our grounding underwriting criteria. Another one will be assets. So the situation that has come up and has come up from time to time is if someone has $100,000 and they show up to become a real estate investor and they find a fantastic investment, let's say it's $300,000, and they qualify for a 70% loan-to-value loan, let's just say they're putting $100,000 down at closing, and it has a 2-to-1 debt service coverage ratio, should they do that deal and spend the entire golden egg that they've accumulated? It qualifies by investment standards, but it's too much of a risk because it's all of someone's money. So, I want you guys to answer the hard question of how much money should someone accumulate, and at what point should they look for that kind of deal? If someone has, let's say, $100,000, how would you recommend that they pursue investment opportunities? If someone has $20,000, let's start off with $50,000. Someone has $50,000, what would you recommend that they pursue? A buy and hold or a fix and flip? One every, and how often? I'll let anyone who wants to take that, take that.
Testing. So the magic number is 50,000?
Well, let's go with 50,000.
All right. I'm a big picture strategy guy, and I say the first thing you have to figure out is what are you trying to accomplish. And the way I look at it is if you're buying 10 cap property, which is a typical cap, then a $100,000 property is going to throw off $10,000 when it is paid for. Does everybody follow that? So to walk away from your day job, let's say you come up with a number of $50,000 or $100,000. Then you need $500 to $1 million of paid for 10 cap property, which the sweet spot for buying property, as Rick just said, you don't want to buy a $300,000 property and rent it out. You don't want to put all your down payment in one shot, and you don't want to do a $90,000 rehab as your first shot out of the way I look at it. You want to do a paint and cosmetics, and you want to have in mind that if you need $50,000 to $100,000 and the sweet spot's $150,000, then you only need to own 4, 5, or 6 homes. So this is the way I look at it. So you need about 4 or 5 or 6 homes. If you get $50,000 and the homes are $150,000, it's going to cost you about $30,000 a home with 20% down. But if you can find a subject to or owner financing, I mean, my favorite little saying is stay leveraged, my friends. You know, mimicking the guy on TV, because it's the leverage that makes you money in real estate. But with $50,000, I would say you could buy close to $225,000 kind of properties and put them in your portfolio, and when they're free and clear, they're going to throw off $25,000 a year if they're 10 cap, and you're well on the way. Now what I did, I was able to buy 10% down. Again, you probably can't do that today unless you get a subject to or owner financing. But I would buy what I call a bundle. Somebody would be selling 7 or 8 condos. I'd buy 7 or 8 condos, I'd rehab one, and I'd flip it. And that would keep my capital going. So you can refi, or you can flip one of your properties after you rehab it and keep your capital going that way. So in other words, it's not $50,000 one shot. You've got to be cognizant of how to renew that capital to keep your program going. Something like that is my answer.